Chapter 10. The Breakthrough. The conference room at SkyPath's headquarters felt alive with anticipation. For the first time, the leadership teams of SkyPath, TopNote Entertainment, and Wordscape Books sat at the same table. It was an unconventional gathering orchestrated by Dr. Anderson. Yet the energy in the room hummed with something deeper than curiosity. There was possibility. Kirsten stood at the head of the room, steady and focused. The air was different here, sharper somehow, as though everyone could sense they were on the edge of something important. Manny Duncan sat to her left, his quiet confidence bolstering the room's collective resolve. Earl Mahler leaned back slightly, his discerning gaze taking everything in. At the same time, Samuel Grant, thoughtful as ever, rested his hands on the table, listening carefully. "This meeting isn't about competition," Kirsten began, calm but compelling. "It's about connection. Each of your companies has its own strengths, its own purpose, but those purposes aren't isolated. They align in ways that can create a lasting impact for your businesses and the industries you serve." She turned to face the group fully. SkyPath powers change. TopNote inspires change. Wordscape connects people to change. If you work together, this alignment can amplify your efforts far beyond what any of you could achieve alone. A murmur spread through the room as the CEOs exchanged glances. Earl was the first to speak, his tone measured. "So, what does this partnership actually look like?" Kirsten walked to the whiteboard where a simple diagram had been drawn, a circle with 3 interlocking sections, each representing one company. "Let's start with SkyPath," she said. "Your biofuel division has created the technology to power clean energy aviation. That's your story. Sustainability, innovation, a blueprint for the future." She turned to Earl. "TopNote has artists whose voices can carry that story. Your label is working to realign with purpose-driven creativity, a socially conscious music tour powered by SkyPath Biofuel positions both companies as leaders, not just in your industries, but in the cultural conversation around sustainability." Earl's interest sharpened. "And the tour itself?" "The artists amplify the message," Kirsten said, "but Wordscape brings it home." She faced Samuel Grant. "Your bookstores already serve as cultural centers. Hosting environmental awareness panels alongside artist appearances will meaningfully connect these ideas to communities. People will hear the story in the music, see the impact in the fuel, and have the space to reflect and act in your stores." Samuel raised an eyebrow, his curiosity piqued. "So Wordscape becomes a bridge." "Exactly," Kirsten replied. "This isn't just about selling books, tickets, or fuel. It's about starting a movement, one that links innovation, creativity, and community." The conversation that followed was electric. Ideas sparked and multiplied as the CEOs and their teams began to see the partnership take shape. "What about the marketing?" Andrew Hart, Wordscape's head of marketing, asked. "How do we tie this together without diluting the message?" Earl leaned in, catching the thread. "The artists drive the narrative. Each stop on the tour could highlight a different aspect of partnership, clean energy, environmental awareness, even book recommendations that align with the theme." Jason Hammond, TopNote's head of A&R, tapped the table rhythmically. "We could commission an original song for the campaign, a collaborative anthem, music that tells the story and drives home the message." Kirsten nodded, her gaze sweeping across the room. "And SkyPath's role?" she prompted. Manny, who had been quiet until now, finally spoke, his voice steady and sure. "We don't just sponsor the tour. We showcase the technology. SkyPath's biofuel becomes a symbol of what's possible when industries innovate together. We'll connect with media, aviation leaders, and the public to drive awareness." The framework solidified. Kirsten stepped back, watching as the ideas coalesced. These 3 companies had started the journey fractured, unsure of their footing. Now they were becoming partners in something bigger, something meaningful. By the end of the meeting, the plan had taken form. 1. SkyPath would power TopNote's socially conscious music tour with their revolutionary biofuel. 2. TopNote would create a campaign centered on resilience, sustainability, and creativity, amplifying the message through music and artist engagement. 3. Wordscape would host panels, discussions, and live events in tandem with the tour, transforming its stores into community hubs that fostered awareness and connection. Samuel rose, glancing around the table. This doesn't just save Wordscape, it redefines it. Earl smiled. His usual sharpness softened. TopNote hasn't seen this kind of alignment in years. We're not just creating music, we're creating meaning. Manny nodded, his expression resolute. And SkyPath gets to lead the future of clean energy, not in silence, but on a global stage. As the meeting broke, the air in the room felt charged with momentum. Conversations lingered in small groups as teams began hashing out the next steps. Kirsten stepped to the window, taking a quiet breath as she observed the transformation. Manny approached, his voice low. You did it. You brought us together. Kirsten turned to him, her expression serene. You've done it yourselves. I just helped you see the connections. Manny smiled faintly. Either way, it feels like we've turned a corner. Indeed, Kirsten replied, and the impact will go further than anyone can imagine. Jason's voice carried into the room from the hallway, already buzzing with excitement. I've got ideas for the anthem. This is going to be huge. Kirsten allowed herself a small private smile as she picked up her notebook. The breakthrough was about more than strategy or success. It was about alignment of people, purpose, and potential. And now that resonance was poised to ripple outward, shaping something far bigger than the sum of its parts. The next chapter had already begun for SkyPath, TopNote, and Wordscape.